we're going to take a look at Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Frankie from Liverpool. Only had 2 albums, believe it or not. The first one was released in 1984 and that was called Welcome to the Pleasure Dome. Second one was released in 1986 and that was called Liverpool. The band were, in my mind, the Sex Pistols of the 80s. They were a lot of smoke and mirrors, a lot of style over substance, but they had their own unique sound, and we'll take a look at their albums in this video. Produced by Trevor Horn, and it contains a lot of session musicians. The sound is fantastic. It's one of the cutting edge albums of the 80s without a doubt. Everything is on here. You have people like Stephen Lipson playing guitar. Really is a great album. There's a bit of atmosphere between tracks as well. There's been a lot of versions of this released. This one is from 2020. Sound quality on this is very good. It's not compressed. It's not loud. You have to turn it up, and it sounds fantastic. There's been 20th anniversary editions and stuff like that, and hard book style ones and all that. But this one is all you need really. ZTT Records. The thing with this is that you can hear the heat. Trevor Horn's overproduction a mile off. I like that. He's one of my favourite producers. Big hits on this album were Relax. That was number 1 for ages. It was banned. Then you have 2 Tribes. There's a few covers on here as well. Ferry Across the Mersey, San Jose. They even do a cover of Born to Run by Springsteen. So it was good stuff. Power of Love is a fantastic ballad as well. It was number 1 before Christmas '84. I think Band Aid knocked it off the top then. It would have probably been number 1 for a lot longer. Welcome to the Pleasure Dome itself is another great track as well. And I just think it's a great album. It defines the 80s really. It still sounds good today. I really think it does. So Frankie, vocalist, was Holly Johnson. And the band, yeah, it's funny that they weren't on Live Aid. This was so popular at the time in 1985. They didn't seem to do much in 85. Yeah, which was a bit of a pity really. Liverpool. So this one kind of came out without much fanfare. This was produced by Steve Lipson. Executive producer was Trevor Horn, but he encouraged the band members to play their own instruments. This album is actually quite good. It was a bit of a flop really at the time. Paul Rutherford was the moving, Holly Johnson the singing, Mark O'Toole the bassing, Brian Nash the guitaring, Peter Gill the drumming. All this kind of hype and nonsense on it. Again, this sounds fantastic. It's a 2020 reissue. Very, 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 very good sounding album. It was just well engineered. Lipson is another superb engineer. There's some good tracks on this. There is only 8. Warriors of the Wasteland, Rage Hard, Kill the Pain, Maximum Joy. Watching the Wildlife, that's a fantastic track. Lunar Bay, that's another really good one. For Heaven's Sake, Is Anybody Out There? It's kind of a slow one that ends the album. It's quite long and it's again very, very good. Yeah, this album is definitely worth it. My battery died there, I had to change it, I don't know. Yeah, this is worth investigating. If you like 80s music, it sounds fantastic. And it's really strong enough as well. They just kind of imploded after this, which is a pity. You know, probably a lot more competition coming along and stuff like that. But it's a pity that they stopped. They've released numerous greatest hits albums, but there is only 2 studio albums. This is Essential, Frankie. This is fantastic because it's got B-sides and mixes from the albums. So I have made another video about this, so you can watch that if you want to find out more details. But this is fantastic. It can be picked up for something like €10, which is absolutely insane. And there's a lot of stuff on this that you won't find on the albums. 7-inch mixes and stuff like that. And the third disc is all 12-inch remixes. So certainly worth getting your hands on. This is the original 1984 double LP. Fold. Pretty bold album, you know. It certainly shook up what was going on. A lot of pop in '84 was kind of childish. This was pretty cutting edge. Every label is different. FG. And the second one is kind of a cutout, which is a bit strange. A lot of innuendo in it. There you go. This is Liverpool. Bought this in a sale in a Virgin Megastore. It's got a big deletion cut up here. Direct metal mastering, DMM. That was quite popular in the 80s with vinyl. I think this is a US pressing. The CD has a different cover. The artwork is slightly different. There you go, just the Ireland label. Yeah. So, those of you who are familiar with Welcome to the Pipeline, check out Liverpool. It wasn't as big a deal at all, you know. Certainly worth investigating if you like 80s music and stuff like that. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe and take care.